One, one, two, two, two. Three, 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 four. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go, here we go. Welcome. It's a very special download for you as part of our Wednesday Sacred Circle that has grown into this very focused time of bringing in the soul nutrition that I believe comes from focusing on breathing and acknowledging this ability to take in energy of consciousness and prana, recognizing this energy of love. So, this is where we come to, in a sense, snack on this nutrition in the middle of the week. Maybe get a chance to take a little break in your day, to drop in a little 30 minutes for yourself, maybe along with lunch break from work, where you can drop into very concentrated time of tuning in to your true abilities, to acknowledge your creative faculties that are fed by the simple act of respiration. This thing that is done throughout all of creation. The earth respires. All organisms have a respiratory process of some sort. And you, my friends, are empowered by this respiratory process, not only physiologically, but when it comes down to your capacity to step into your superhuman self. And that is what we're going to focus on today because, as I said in my newsletter, right now is no time for the poetry and the quotes. We need to get into the business of acknowledging your superhuman capacity and awakening it to navigate these powerful times. We are in an eclipse season, and that means that our unconsciousness is being awakened. And part of that unconsciousness is what we're talking about. Lies, the dormant powers that are there for you to create solutions for the problems you face, to move away from the dualistic temptations of blaming outward circumstances for your conditions. That here we are gathered around this fire of love, which is awakening our understanding that we have come here to bring our gift, to ignite our creative capacity and bring solutions to the issues that humanity faces. Yes, so that there is a sense of generating conditions to experience balance, harmony, and beauty, even though we may be feeling uncomfortable, even though we may feel the labels, right? We may feel the labels of betrayal or the labels of fear, anger, frustration, resentment. We might feel those things, but we realize that the mind has created these experiences from events that happened in the past that are no longer happening in this moment. And this moment is calling on a priority to live in order to experience wholeness and balance and peace and harmony, which are an expression of health, an expression of love. Compassion is that expression of love. Breathing, and that's why we're connecting to the breath, is that expression. So we want to connect to that expression that sets up the conditions to experience that inner peace. Right? So in this video today, we are simply focusing on the aspect of the nervous system that's connected to the respiratory process. And that is simply consciously breathing is the respiratory process that we're bringing into a mindful focus. Being aware of your respiratory process ignites your nervous system in a very powerful way. it shifts you from simply trying to figure stuff out, figure out your problems. That's survival mode. But to move beyond that and realize you can move beyond your mind trying to figure it out and set up the conditions to hear the intuition and the guidance through inspiration that allows you to be a catalyst for the solution that's needed to be the answer to the problems that you face. And maybe beyond that, depending on your position and your destiny. Maybe there's solutions for humanity, for the forests, for the animals, for the water problems, for the plastic recycling problems, for the health problems, to make sure everybody has food to eat, right? For the population problems, whatever it is that we need to tend to. If there's the problem, there is the solution. Today, we're just going to focus in on the practice of the way to apply this physiological wiring that is connected to activating our creative faculties. Yeah? All right. So the basic principle, to reiterate, to go over it again so it gets infused in your mind. When you consciously focus on your breathing, what does that look like, Akka? Come nice and tall, and let's have an experience of that. Up until now, I would stretch myself to say that you weren't focused on your breath. Maybe some of you know what this class is about. As you are viewing this at your leisure, blow this ant off the screen. So, crawling into the computers, one of those really tiny ones. Even that ant is involved in the respiratory process, focused on what an ant does. And that's the beauty of nature. It is involved in what it was designed to do, to participate in nature, and so are you. Again, no right or wrong. So we're moving ourselves away from the duality of right and wrong. When it comes to activating our superhuman ability to create. I say superhuman ability because our basic wiring as a human is to survive, self-preservation. That is in the medulla oblongata, that area that controls the respiratory centers. But there's something about you and your design where you can override that center, and with practice, you begin to access the higher centers of your brain. So you can control your breath to a point. Let's have an experiment of that. I love to embody these ways the body operates. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Now hold the breath out as long as you can. Let's say, now you may notice a feeling. Keep holding. Signals start to arise. Go ahead and take that inhale. How's that feel? Now hold it. Signals start to arise. It says exhale. So I want you to notice through that experiment is with the breath we start to touch the intelligence of life. It's different than start. We are touching the intelligence of life. Touching, we can hear it, we can feel it, we can see it, but it's not with this eye, these eyes, these ears, or with your sensory nerve endings, right? That are associated with feeling. No, it's very internal. It's a tuning in. And that's what we're going to do. Just very simple ways to move throughout your day incognito. Yeah. Incognito in your relationship to the higher centers of your being. We call it your soul. In my work as a spiritual empowerment coach, or an empowerment coach, or a soul alchemy coach, right? Or a recovery coach, under the umbrella, you know, of spiritual living coach, right? Having that way of looking at your life where you are whole. And there are aspects of your being that will allow you to experience the fullness of who you are. It's all inside you. When you hear me say energy, it's all about energy. Excuse me, when you hear me say spiritual, it's all about energy living. You can call me an energy living coach, whatever you want to call me. Just know that empowerment is at the root of who I am, meaning going through my childhood traumas. The reason I'm involved in this is to figure out the way, the answers, to be who we came here to be and be empowered by living our life. That's been my whole goal. I feel if I attain that, then I will have inner peace. That's what I'm looking for. What are you looking for? Yeah, I guarantee you that there's a way to create your life where you can experience the journey, being fulfilled, right? And experiencing what you're looking for. That internal peace, ignites for me and awakens the next thing I desire, which is to be creative. Yeah, I had an elder tell me that's the reason why we're here, to be creative, to create. All right, so let's touch this higher aspect of ourselves. How do we switch from survival to being in our higher centers? Come with your spine nice and tall. When you come to our breath immersions that flows through the season, right now we're with the autumn breath. We deepen into these practices so that it becomes a way of life, ultimately. I am looking to recruit you as a respiratory, consciously breathing respiratory being, right? I'm looking to incorporate you into the yoga of breath, joining with your human and higher self. As your spine comes nice and tall, let's tune in with some vibration and sound, right? So this is the way that you begin to awaken these centers around consciously breathing, because to create sound involves consciously breathing. Yeah? And when you do, you begin to vibrate in such a way where you're less and less hanging out in the unconscious realm of being, which causes us to blame others, which causes us to look at outer circumstances as if they're causing us difficulty. And we move more towards the way to slow life down, as you experience in the moment with long, deep breathing. But let's tune in with a vibration of Om. Really simple. Feeling that flow of energy. Om. So there's this flow of energy from the source of creation, where you feel it vibrates and brings creation into existence. This creative sound, this universal creative sound of Om. Okay, palms together, thumbs pressing into the sternum. Inhale deeply to synchronize our breath. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Lift the muscles of the pelvic floor at the top of the inhale. Lift the muscles slightly. And the last Om, make it a higher pitch. Om. Inhale deeply. Hold that breath. Lift slightly if it's comfortable for you, the muscles of the pelvic floor, like you're holding in your urine. If you're new to this kind of activating your muscles, just have that sense that you're keeping yourself from going to the bathroom. Lift and feel a lifting up. Exhale gently out the mouth, hold the hand position. Now release the hands, let the palms face up. Suspended over your legs. Just having a sense of engaging, consciously engaging your body, connected. Feeling the palms of the hands, feeling the vibration of sound flowing through you. Now feel a long, deep breath in the nose and out the mouth. Long, deep breath. With every exhale, feel the muscles of the shoulders relax, the body relax. How you feel your touch points on Mother Earth. Feel those touch points grow roots that are called into the center of Mother Earth, traveling through Mother Earth effortlessly into her glowing center of Earth Chi, Earth energy. Tapping into your very own source that gave you your physical body, returning to the source of your physical being. Now slow the breath down, long and deep. Really let go as you relax and release the breath. You are now consciously breathing. Just focus the mind on the breath. You direct the focus of the mind. This will give you control over the mind. So stay with that long, deep breath as we just flow into a movement with the breath so that there's a release of any blockages. Long, deep breath keeps us focused on consciously breathing. The mind can now focus on breathing long and deep. Place the hands on your knees if you're sitting in a chair. If you're sitting on your yoga mat, slide your hands down to your shins and begin arching the pelvis forward and back on the tailbone. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. We have energy channels in our body. If you consider this anatomy as we are considering the connection between the nervous system and the respiratory system. There is the physical systems that we're speaking of, like nervous and respiratory, digestive, reproductive, endocrine system, the circulatory system. These are physical systems. Keep the movement flowing as I talk. I really want you to practice being in life and focusing on your breath. Okay? So as you stand in line at the bank or your shopping center for food or whatever you need to get, that you can stay tuned in consciously to your breath. This way you'll be creating more and more momentum towards embodying your infinite creative energy self. Right? So speaking of energy self or your energy being, there are energy channels. You can't put the energy of life force in your hands for me to see. But yet, we can't do without it. We must breathe and be in the flow of life. We cannot just simply hold our breath on our own, whether it is on the inhale or the exhale. There is a next moment to experience according to the design of life. We must either exhale as a balancing alternative to the inhale. So we are the embodiment of that balance. We are designed to be that. So the mind cannot override that on its own. Yeah? Because it's part of the design. And therefore, we get a chance to participate. And when we do, there are special powers that come online, like being in creative mode, which means keep going, you're inhaling. I'm purposely talking while you're doing this so that you can practice listening and also listening to your breath. Be connected to your movement as I'm talking about. When you drop into these movements like this spinal flex, you're opening up these subtle energy channels that allow you to be. You're not just simply a human physical being. There are aspects to you that allows the whole being to exist in its infinite, finite configuration. Yeah. So you have this physical body, and you have the way of experiencing this physical body, which is somewhat metaphysical. It's not quite physical, and it's not quite invisible. It's in between, metaphysical. Right? So your emotions are an example of that. You can feel them, and you feel them in your body, and your body allows you to feel thirsty and to feel yourself get your tea or water and drink it and feel now the physical sensation of the liquid, but the desire to drink, the urge, or the body telling you it needs water is metaphysical. There's this communication. And then there's the spiritual energy, where this life force comes into your body and awakens every cell to move through its processes that allow you to experience life, that allows a liver cell to know it's a liver cell and a heart cell to know it's a heart cell, and to allow you to know you're you, infinite energy, creative being, right? More than the label of human. So to be able to determine that you're more than the label of feeling afraid, uncertain, and overwhelmed, that you can come to this breath, you can release that label, and just step into the listening of what's the next right step to move you out of this challenging space that causes you to feel overwhelmed. That's spiritual energy. Yeah, or as I like to call it, that's energy living, being empowered by the experience of life. Keep going with that spinal flex now. Let's get into it. Okay, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Now you're consciously breathing and consciously moving. So by now you ought to be having a sense, you ought to have a sense of this extraordinary aspect of the energy, giving you a different sensation being in this body. Now inhale nice and tall. Stretch your crown to the heavens. Lift muscles of the pelvic floor. Hold that breath. Sip a little air. Now hold. Close the eyes. Feel you're one with Mother Earth, your roots into Mother Earth. Exhale out the mouth. Place the palms up, suspended above the legs. Close the eyes, long, deep breathing. Now remembering what? I am connecting to my creative essence, which is a creative ability that I am given. And direction will come through inspiration and intuition. So this is simply it for today. Keep going with your long, deep breath while I do a recap. Having a way of moving consciously and breathing consciously will allow you to shift from being overwhelmed by the circumstances, having the temptation to blame the circumstances, people, or things that are happening to you with those circumstances. That you are releasing the mind from its activity of calculating the reason why something is going on, and maybe even creating a label to identify with that does not truly belong to you. Like maybe it starts out like, I've always felt this way, but you're not the label of anxiety or overwhelm or inability to sleep. It's the effect of the stress, yes. On the body, yes. But there is a choice that you have. You can engage the life force and consciousness that comes to only you and everyone else, which means there's so much of it that there's enough to go around. If there's enough breath to go around, then there's enough supply of whatever you need, because that breath is going to allow you to tap into your creative faculties. And you will come up with the solutions that nobody else thought of or that is needed. And you participate with others who have the same idea. And you will create this fulfillment together. And community is the mystical vehicle that helps to spread, this energy of balance, camaraderie, and activating a deep sense of belonging and fulfillment, which brings a great healing from the way we fragmented ourselves through the labels of, man, I'm so overwhelmed, it's always happened this way. Cancel, delete, go to your breath. This session here is a reminder to go inward, tune in with the breath. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel the anxiety, when it's hard to sleep, invest your time. If you're not able to sleep, invest your time in breathing. If you're feeling your mind is busy and you can't concentrate and you want to just veg out on some series or be stimulated from the outside, put a pause on that, because enough stimulation is coming, right? We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, enough stimulation is coming, but it's coming at a time when we're being asked to go inward. This eclipse season, we got on the 8th, we have a full moon, full eclipse, I believe. This is really something during a holiday season, when everything wants to draw our attention outward. We have so many aspects of our society that's transforming. The key to knowing what to do And I'm testifying how I have navigated through situations where I'm not a property manager, and yet I need to support my mother's recovery from her stroke and handle her responsibilities, which includes managing properties that she has accumulated over her lifetime. Yeah. Do I just think about what I'm not, or it's the moment? The moment is bringing in activity. Breathe into it and listen. If you don't know what to do, slow your breath down. Take a moment to focus. If you have a mantra that you can chant, chant your mantra. If you like to move your body consciously. If you don't know any of those things, just simply slow your breath down and focus on the long, deep breathing. It will serve you because it is serving you. So witness the way it is serving you so you can have an experience of life. And I guarantee you, this life is not here just to bring you misery, challenges, disruption, fragmentation, or just busy forgetfulness. It's a balanced, energetic realm we live in. And it's just a matter of what we tune into. Yeah, as you'll hear it said, from the psychological realms and neuroscience to the realm of shamanism and spirituality, where you focus your attention, that's where your energy is going to go. So if you focus on your breath, you're going to develop a deep relationship with your soul. One of the aspects of the work I do. And underlying desire is for you to develop a relationship with your soul. It serves me, and I think it can serve others that have a memory of that language and a memory of that experience. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I will say that breath is for you, so make it as long and deep as you can. That is the key for our session today. Breathe long and deep so you move out of survival mode into your higher centers of your nervous system and tap into your ability to create, which brings deep fulfillment, and you'll move forward abundantly in your life. Okay. Take care, family. Until next session. One love. Let's go ahead and tune out with 3 ohms. Inhale. Last one, a higher pitch. Beautiful. And keep being your beautiful self. One love. See you Sunday, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think time is moving back on that day as well. So let's get prepared for this lunar eclipse. See you Sunday, possibly. I'll be there. One love.